Hey guys, welcome back to Share Her. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jadida.
And today we're going to dive into our stories. One of the things I love about your story, Jadida, is how you grew up in a two-parent home. Your parents were a little older when they had you. I really love that because that affects how you're raised. Maybe things that they learned or that they've experienced with your siblings, they know like, okay, we can't try this thing again, or we can try this again. Do you want to tell me a little bit about how being the youngest and your parents also being older affects how you were raised?
Wow. So for me, my mom literally turned 40 a month after I was born.
Wow.
All through my childhood, I was very upset at her for it. I'm like, how my friends say their mom's their best friend and you're too old to be my best friend. I had the biggest attitude. Lord Jesus, I'd slap myself. But anyway, at one point, I think it became awesome. But growing up, it was hard. It was really hard because there was just this gap, this generational gap that in some ways my parents were on a totally different page than what I was on.
Yeah.
But I also had this thing that a lot of my friends didn't have, like this knowing that my parents were actually my parents. Like they were there to protect me. They were there to look out for me. They were the ones that I went for, if I needed wisdom, not necessarily like fun advice, but wisdom. So it was kind of this like, two-edged sword. I loved it and didn't love it so much, but now I think it's amazing. But growing up, it was definitely a little bit of a struggle. Being the youngest of 7.
Talk about it.
Listen, you just never had anything that was yours.
Yeah.
Okay? Everything was a hand-me-down. And then if something was yours, everyone else was older, so they just, oh yeah, I want this.
Yeah.
And what do? You fight against the army of 6? No, you just go with the flow. So yeah, I think my personality is a direct result of the fact that I am youngest of 7. I had to learn how to just speak up and fight for myself and just advocate for this girl because everyone was loud. So if you were going to get heard, you needed to be louder.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely has translated into who I am and how I am in other circumstances. But yeah, that's a little bit of...
So you mentioned that you would have to fight for yourself, speak a little louder. In that, was there ever a moment where you probably felt left out? Like there's this army of, because I'm guessing there was a age gap. There's an age gap.
Yeah. So
did that ever make you feel left out? Question why you weren't born in their same age range?
There's a huge age gap between the oldest brother and me.
Okay.
But pretty evened out as far as like who's before me. So my brother and I, we were like the yin yang twins, okay?
Aww.
He's 3 years older than me, but I was always a little taller. So we looked like we were really close in age. He always tried to like protect me, but I was the rough girl. So it didn't work very well for him. Yeah. But so no, I didn't actually ever felt, that was one thing that I never experienced was this sense of loneliness. Sometimes I wanted to be alone, you know what I mean? But that wasn't a thing. I just never felt left out or lonely. It was the whole wanting to fight for myself was just getting my voice heard.
Yeah.
But you always felt like there was a crowd behind you because there are so many of us. There was literally a crowd.
So this is her journey of becoming an introvert.
Listen,
There are too many people around.
that's how I got here. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Can I talk about your story?
Go ahead.
Yes. So I just love this, and I love this experience of you of kind of rising as a phoenix. You give me this vibe, and even from hearing different things about you, that there have been things that have kind of like pushed you down, and somehow you've managed to, recreate yourself. in a better form,
Yeah.
or things that have maybe tried to destroy or, you know, derail, and you just pop, almost like that toy, you just pop back up. You know, so I'd love to hear more about that, because that to me is something about you that is so beautiful and inspiring. But I don't know all of it. I don't know all of what that is.
Yeah, that came from my mom, my mother. Like, she is one of the most tenacious, strongest, bounciest, backest.
We coined that as a word. Bounciest backest.
Bounciest backest. No, she's so strong, and that ability to bounce back from situations or figure out how to turn these ashes into gold, how to turn these ashes into resources, came from my mom. When I was younger, in probably about 7th grade, me and my mom and my siblings, we were homeless. We experienced homelessness. We lived in homeless shelters. But one of the things that my mom was so good at, not avoiding the situation, but using the situation for her good. She showed us how hard it was, but she always allowed situations to be a stepping stool.
Yeah.
You know?
You do that.
Yeah, and that's exactly. That's who I get it from. I get it from her. It's like, this is happening, but how can I turn this into a resource? Yeah. So, for example, what we're doing now, this conversation, this channel, everything in a moment that is hard, in a moment that doesn't necessarily make sense. That all comes from my mom. And there's so many instances. My mom lost a daughter. I had a sister when I was 5. She was 4. My sister passed away. She didn't avoid the feeling of that moment, that situation, but she used that as a stepping stool of like, okay, now I have another child, because at the time it was just me after my sister, and then there was my younger sister and then younger brother. Yeah. And so in those moments, she was like, okay, this situation happened to me, but now I have another chance. I have another opportunity.
Do you know where I see that in you? You always, and I love listening to you talk about when you're going to be a mom. Yeah. That, I see that come alive, because you're like, yeah, this was my experience, this happened, I didn't, and then, but when I'm a mom, yes, and then you come totally alive. Yeah. And I think that's so powerful, and I don't know, I want to like recognize that, because I feel some of us miss that, that piece of like, this is my reality, maybe it stinks, but yeah, you know?
Yeah, because we have a choice. We have a choice. The choice is not to be insensitive, but the choice is to, what am I going to do with this sensitive moment? What am I going to do with these pebbles? Yes. You know? Yes. What am I? And so we've seen something as simple as a pebble turn into a beautiful landscape. People have it in their landscapes. They have wood chips in their landscapes. Yes. It's like this one wood chip looks like nothing by itself. Yes. But with a bunch of others can make a beautiful backyard. Come on. You can make a beautiful front yard. Yeah. So it's choosing what to do with those moments. Yes. Like, what are you going to do with these hard moments? And so that's my mom all the way from since I can remember. That's literally what I've known her as and have seen in her since a little girl. And I guess just being around her naturally it's a habit.
You inherited that.
It's something that I learned. I won't say that every moment I feel strong. Most of the time I don't. But it's, what can I do with what I have in front of me? Even if it's not everything that I feel that I need.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Like, that's the essence of, you don't let your story define you, but it's totally part of your story. Exactly. You know? Exactly. And that gives you permission to own it all, but not be defined by it all. Exactly. How much freedom comes out of that?
And also, ownership. Ownership for our stories and for its entirety. The hard moments, the good moments, the easy moments, the moments of struggle, all of it being a part of, like the analogy of that I gave of the landscape, all of it being a part of this landscape, that when you step back, when you see your story 20 years from now,
Yes.
and you step back and you see what you created
Yeah.
through those choices that you made of, dang, this is really good.
Yeah.
Through those choices that you made of, this is what I'm going to do with this wood chip.
Yes.
This is what I'm going to do with this pebble.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you for noticing and acknowledging that, because I do think it's important. More so because we all are going to have moments in our life that are hell. Like, it's hard. But it's choosing what to do with those moments. What type of garden am I going to create with these wood chips, these pebbles?
That's awesome.
That's notable. I'm going to take that down. I'm going to write that down. No.
Don't steal it. She said it first.
Do not steal it. No, but yeah, thank you. As always, guys, remember to like and subscribe to Share Her, and also like and subscribe to She Loves. She would appreciate it.
You're so cute.